Hi, I'm Laura from Indicia Worldwide, and joining me today is Fergus Weldon, our Global Chief Data Officer, and Mary-Ann Milne, who is our Head of Digital Performance. Fergus, one challenge we help global brands with is helping them to understand their customers better, but they're at different places. Where do you start?
The biggest lever for success in these problems really comes down to the collaborative relationships that we help our clients build between marketing departments, data departments, and commercial departments. We see if any one of those is lacking in a client's business, the overall strategy and the success of the strategy kind of suffers as a result.
And Mary-Ann, it's really tricky for brands as well to deliver one message consistently and at the right time on all those different platforms. I mean, how do we help brands to really realise return on investment in their marketing spend?
So I think the main thing really is to have a continual test and learn strategy. So what we would do with our clients is to really help them to get down to the core of what it is they're trying to achieve, what the different objectives are, looking at kind of things like goal trees and so on, to really understand what we're trying to drive, and then to develop an appropriate testing plan strategy in order to try to really continuously learn and have incremental improvements on performance.
So another challenge for global brands is personalisation, isn't it? Because we all know what it's like to get an email in our inbox or a push notification. It just doesn't resonate and customers vote with their feet, unsubscribe, and that's a customer lost. Mary-Ann, what would you say is best practice for brands who are looking to personalise their journeys?
I think firstly, really understanding the customer, understanding different segments. Obviously in digital there's a challenge whereby you'll have addressable audiences, non-addressable audiences, so you kind of need to understand how to speak to people you may not necessarily know or have any information about, but you can see what types of behaviours they exhibit, and you can make assumptions around what journey they should be following through on your site. So it's really just trying to make sure from the initial inception of whichever channel it is you're driving traffic into the site with, through to the final goal, whether that be a lead form completion or a purchase, you're understanding that journey and knowing how customers are interacting at each point and are providing appropriate messaging.
And what happens for global brands that have, multiple markets? Does it have to be tailored specifically?
Yeah, I would say so. I think there's a lot of cultural context in terms of how different segments want to be communicated with, so it's definitely something that needs to be taken into account. And then you have other challenges around potentially, for example, volume. When you're looking at testing to try and say, does this work or does this work? Then you have to make sure that you've got sufficient segment volume in order to get robust results in your testing.
Fergus, tell us more about individualisation. We work with global brands on it, but what does it actually mean and how do we know it works?
So I think what we're seeing now is that in the way in which we communicate with customers, be it through email or be it through user experiences, we can be much more specific in terms of how we communicate or help our clients communicate with their customer base. So that could be via email or via a user experience such as an app or a website, in terms of tone of voice, in terms of imagery, in terms of colours, and in terms of content. Very much more tailored towards them as an individual versus bucketing them with similar types of people who kind of exhibit the same behaviours. So that's what we mean. Personalisation kind of gone by the wayside a little bit, like big data, in terms of where we are right now is very much direct one-to-one relationships that we're building between our clients and our clients' customers.
And we know that that takes time and resource, don't we, to build that holistic customer journey that's frictionless, whether it's online or in store. Well, thank you both very much indeed. And if you want to find out more about realising ROI from your marketing spend, then do get in touch via our website. The URL is coming up next.